And we have a few different things that we're going to go over the next few weeks, obviously. And tonight I'm going to kick it off with enrolling strategies and kind of how to really get your business off and going, or if you need different tips or whatever. So I'm just going to share with what I've done. I've been pretty successful with enrolling. I've personally sponsored over 320 people. I've been with Isagenix for just over 6 years. I'll actually tell my quick story really quick, if that's okay with everybody, so you kind of know where I'm coming from. I didn't start with the business at all. In fact, I didn't want anything to do with it. I had a 6-month-old and a 22-month-old, and I was just stuck with my weight, battling some internal demons, so to speak, postpartum depression, that sort of thing. And I just really needed to find a solution that worked for me, because I was trying everything and nothing was working. So when my friend shared with me Isagenix, I was like, oh, it's a shake thing, But I quickly went on to release over 34 pounds and 46 inches, and my kids got me back. My life has changed in so many ways, becoming a single parent and, just so many things. And I thank God every day for this nutrition, not only in my life, but in my kids' life, because they are healthy as can be. They're 6, and my daughter's 6. My son just turned 8. So in the beginning, I really didn't want to do the business. But naturally, people, came to me like, what are you doing? You're so energetic. And I just kind of started sharing, they say, in the pockets of your time. I was working full time in a finance career at the time. So really for me, it was that. The first few people that I enrolled on my team are still on my team. Maybe call it ignorance on fire or coaching or whatever. I didn't really know what I was doing at the beginning, and I still fumble my way through it today. But they're still there. Not all of them are. I have a lot of zeros in my back office, like many of us do. So that's just a real thing. We all will go through those seasons of, our team on fire, and then where's my team? It does happen. But one of the most things that I've done with my business, and I really dug my heels into it 2 years ago, I've always been consistent. If you guys show up one day and then you don't show up the next day, or you take a week off or decide to go for a month, like, your business is going to show that. So really consistent daily action, showing up in your space, in your heart for other people. And just really, it doesn't have to be Facebook, and it doesn't have to be Instagram. If you use those mediums, awesome. I do. I definitely do, but that's not for everybody. So get out, talk to people, I talk to at least 3 people a day. I live by that rule. Enrolling at least 5 people a month minimum is kind of a standard if you're building a business. And our company does do so many amazing incentives for us if you enroll 2 or more people in 1 week. So if you get that one person, go for the 2. And if you need help, we obviously have our one big team here. Like, any of us will help you find that next person, or to light the fire underneath your butt. I'm going to invite 2 more people later on this call. And one of them, we were running partners. She lit the fire underneath my butt sometimes. And I was like, I can't do this. And she's like, yes, you can. So having those accountability partners is so important in our business. So also another thing that I really do, and this is going back to social media, because I do use it. I don't just post and pray, and I don't scroll and troll. I post with purpose. Every person that likes gets a message. Thank you for your support. I totally appreciate, when I see those likes, because sometimes we get a gazillion likes on a pretty picture of you, but we post about health and wellness, which people should be liking, and it's like crickets. So when I get likes, I really tell people, and I appreciate them, and I love on them. And another thing is I look for clues. Like, I'm such a scavenger. If a mom posts so when I say scroll and troll, don't just scroll to compare yourself, because you'll just go down a rabbit hole nobody needs to go down. I use Facebook and Instagram, mainly Facebook, and my screen time is definitely high because I use that as a tool. I look for clues. A mommy is tired. A dad is searching for an additional income. Whatever it is, people share. A lot of people share their highlights, but if you really look, you could see you can see their patterns. Or if you go to their page and you love on, maybe a light bulb will go off, or you'll send them a message like, hey, I saw your daughter's birthday. You guys all look so happy, but she might not feel healthy. And it's happened to me. I've had people respond back, thanks for the message. You know what? I see your energy. I see this, I see that. Like, can you talk to me about what you're doing? So opening up organic conversations, really coming from like a love, place of love, not about isogenics. You know that those products can change their life. They don't know that though, and they don't want to be sold anything. So really, to enroll and to grow your business, you can't be like, I need to sign this person up because you'll have a lot of zeros in your back office. Like I said, 2 years ago is when I shifted. A year and a half ago when I started with Tribe Time, things started shifting because I came from a different place, more of a place of service versus like enrolling, like, I took some notes. So, and I wrote down again, talk to people everywhere you go. Like, why am I spacing who did this? I was just at a Super Saturday, and also you guys events. Like I just flew to LA in the morning, 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I flew back Saturday night because I knew my butt needed to be in that chair. And I'm going to talk about enrolling in events and enrolling in other things later, not just enrolling people. But I don't know why I'm spacing who is Jeff Beebe. Debbie and Jeff Beebe, dynamic, amazing individuals. But Jeff Beebe, in his pocket, pulled out 3 quarters. Every morning, he puts those 3 quarters in his shoe. And he challenged us all to do the same. And I have on flip-flops, or else my quarters would be in my shoe. Those are his 3 people. He does not go home until he's talked to 3 people. And he takes 1 quarter out of his shoe and he puts it into his pocket. And I was like, yes, because you're constantly reminded in your shoe that you need to talk to those 3 people. For some people, it's 5. If you're just starting off, make it a goal of 1 person a day. But you definitely need to have 3 new connections every single day, talking to people, Facebook, whatever. You need to follow up with 3 people a day, because if you're doing that consistent, you're going to have those previous 3 people, right? And then either 3 new people added to your team page or a tool sent to them. So those are really, I think that those are standards for building your business and for enrolling and sharing with people isogenics and the nutrition. Okay, so when you talk about enrolling people, and obviously you're going to help coach them to better health, but you have to enroll them into IsoBody. You have to enroll them into our community. We're doing a Friendsgiving tomorrow for everybody local here in Arizona. It's bringing people into our community. Some are on our team, some are not. I have a lot of people coming that I don't even know if they know what I do, but they're just like, yeah, that sounds like fun. I want to go. Who doesn't love food and wine, So, but that's inviting them in, not enrolling them, but it's inviting them in to take a look at our culture, at our community. I said it before and I'll say it again and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Events. Events are the most important thing to get people to. And these are mini events, but we do take tours at corporate if you're here. But maybe if you're in Texas, like, why am I spacing your name? And I just talked to you. Anyhow, Robert, I think it's Robert in Texas. So maybe there's a local event down there, or celebration, NYKO, getting people to those events, getting their butts in the seat, having them see our company, our culture, our community. That's enrolling them. That's showing them, right? Your team pages, utilize those. I have a new rock star on my team, and he's just, he made a post and he's got 7 or 8 people. We've added them to the team page. We're sending them the messages out, and he's engaging in conversation and kind of learning it. And he's enrolling them into their health and their future, and they will join his team eventually. So just, I hope I'm giving you guys some good stuff. So I'm going to actually ask Bethany. I've got a question for Bethany. So when I mentioned earlier about my running partner, I met Bethany maybe just over a year ago, and she's become a dear friend of mine, and she enrolls consistently. I know she's got an awesome, how she does it is totally different than how I do it, and I enroll consistently. So I love learning from other people, and that's one of the biggest points of this call, is to learn. Raise your hand if you have questions. I'm happy to answer. But we all find people in different places, right? Like everywhere I go, I talk to people. I add them on my phone. I get their phone numbers. And then if they're on Facebook, not everybody's on Facebook. I just got my lashes done, and the girl's not on Facebook, but she's coming to our Friendsgiving tomorrow night, and she's on Instagram. She and her fiance literally just met her 2 hours ago. So we find people in different places. I've joined a lot of meetup groups. I've met people there, but I would like to have Bethany unmute herself because I have a few questions for her, because I know that she can definitely share some really rockin' tips or strategies, so to speak.
Hey, I was taking very fast notes there. And one of the things that I heard you say, and if you guys heard this as well, just say something in the chat about it, because I've heard it before and I hear it again and I don't do it, but it's so genius, is going back and thanking those people that liked your posts. It's just so good. I originally heard that from Rebecca years ago. And it's just something that it's like we're always looking, what's the next post? What's the next thing to do? Kind of like with enrolling, we're always looking, who is the next person to enroll? And I know this call is all about enrolling, but sometimes we need to just reach back to the people we've already enrolled and help them place a new order. Maybe they've been out for a couple of months. So thank you, Anne-Marie. I'm going to start putting that into practice.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've re-enrolled people over my 6 years of being with Isagenix. Some people fell off and then they come back. So going back and seeing who you have and maybe just reaching back out to them. You guys, we have our new holiday event catalog, so huge. We have all the new products, such a great way to just loop back around and be like, hey, it's been a while. So utilize that. And then I have a few other things I'm going to share down the road. But Bethany, so where do you find most of your people? Like, where do you find them? Where do you find them? I want to hear from you.
So I just did one of the ISO Life success calls with John Rains back in October. And this was a question that he had asked me. And funny enough, I had just trained on it at the Super Saturday in San Francisco as well. And to be very honest, you guys, where I find people is when I'm out living my life. I wear Isagenix. I drink Isagenix. I'm pretty much a walking billboard for Isagenix because I always have something Isagenix on me. Even today, I was like, oh, I'm not wearing an Isagenix tank top to the gym. I better wear an Isagenix hat, So I kind of I'm intentional with what I do. And I love to meet people who are like-minded that are doing the same things that I'm doing or the things that I love to do. And so just to give you some examples of that, everywhere I go, I take extra Isagenix with me. How many of you, by just a raise of hand, how many of you take Isagenix with you when you leave the house to make sure that you don't get hungry, right? We all do. We all got something in our purse or in our car or in our backpack or gym bag. And so with me, I always take extra. So when I travel on an airplane, I pack my food for the day, and then I pack one of everything else because I want to be able to give that to people. And then I might even pack two of something because if I'm sitting with two people, I want to be able to offer each of them a bar. And I will pack a variety of flavors too. So I can say, oh, lemon passion crunch, chocolate peanut butter, chocolate decadence. What do you prefer? So I'm always bringing things and giving out samples of things when I'm traveling. When I'm hiking, I mean, gosh, we get to the top of a hiking trail and, somebody's up there and they're totally worn out. What if you have an e-shot to give them,
Mm-hmm.
or some Knox or even just an Isodelight, just anything to give them so they can feel the power of our incredible superfood nutrition, right? Yoga. I do lots of yoga, different types of yoga. I'm really into Kundalini yoga, and I build a whole kind of yoga tribe, that I vibe with. And a lot of them, they don't even know what I do necessarily, but we are Facebook friends. And so they will reach out to me and ask me, what is it that you do exactly? I also pulled up a slide that, Trisha, if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen. And I think I'll have to ask permission. Yeah. Okay, there we go. This was just a slide from my Super Saturday. I thought I'd pull up just different ideas. So Meetup, you talked about Meetup, Anne-Marie. For those
Mm-hmm.
of you that don't know what Meetup is, just go to meetup.com and type in your zip code and type in your interests. And it will give you all sorts of different meetups in your area. I mean, it could even just be over 40s and fit, or, you know, there's one, it's called Babes and Brews, and I thought it was beer, but it's actually cold brew coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. So there's all sorts of different ones that you can join with Meetup. And then business classes. So one of my favorite ways to network, one of my absolute favorite ways to meet people is to better myself. And so I can better myself by going and taking a business class, you know, for 25 bucks and learning something, learning a new skill. And when I do that, who's going to be in that room? Other business-minded people that are looking to better themselves. So I connect with them. Mastermind groups. You know, you and I talked about this today, Anne-Marie. If you can become part of a mastermind group with other individuals that are looking for, you know, the same things that you are in business, that's great. Facebook groups. Let's just say you love to scrapbook. Google scrapbooking, or go to Facebook and type in scrapbook and join some Facebook groups that have to do with scrapbooking and make some friends in there. Le Tip. If you haven't heard of any of these, just Google them and you'll find them. Le Tip is basically like a BNI. BNI is Business Networking International. That's a great one. The Rotary Club. Women in Business Networking. There's all sorts of women in business networking events in your area. I guarantee it. Just Google them. The Chamber of Commerce. Gosh, Robert Arthur told me about the Chamber of Commerce and BNI for so many years, but I was living on my little island in Hawaii and in my little ski resort town, and I didn't join either of them until I moved to Arizona. Vendor fairs. I just did a vendor fair this past Saturday. It was called Brunch, Browsing, and Youth. And I made so many great connections by having a little table set up. And the one thing about vendor fairs I will tell you is get there early and set yourself up early. Setup time is supposed to be from 9:15 to 10:45. I was there at 9:15, made sure that I was able to get a great spot. Not only did I get that great spot, but then I was set up by 10 a.m. So there was another 45 minutes to an hour before the event even started. So I took around a little tray of Hydrate, orange, lime, and grape. First, I just took it around to every single vendor, asked them if they wanted to try a sample, connected with them, asked them, asked them about their business, told them I would be sure to stop back with my raffle so they could fill out their information and be part of my raffle. That's my lead collector. That's how I got all of the other vendors' information. And then when I got home, I immediately sent them texts, friended them on Facebook, invited them to Friendsgiving, invited them to other events I'm having. I'm building the connection with them even further now. Optimist is a group that somebody else had recommended. I really don't know what it is. And then last but not least, the number 10 is expos. There's huge expos that you can join. There's all sorts of different expos, which is a great way to meet people. However, I don't recommend spending, you know, over a couple $100 on one of these booths or one of these expos. I kind of have my limit set now. If I'm going to do a booth or an expo of some sort, a couple $100 is the max that I'll spend. I really like to spend $100 or less because I know if I get one enrollment, you know, that's covered. And I know that I'll have lots of other people that I meet from it as well. So I'm just going to pop over to this next slide as well, because I think it's a powerful one, is what do you say when you meet these people, right? Remember, guys, this is just a relationship business. It's just about meeting people, connecting with people. And I'm sure many of you have heard this acronym. I had not heard it when I first started Isogenics, and Robert taught it to me. And it's the FORM acronym, which is Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Message. So this is really about asking people questions, right? Getting to know them. And when I say to you that a lot of people that I become friends with on Facebook, they don't even know what I do, it's because I'm not talking about myself. I'm asking them about them. I'm asking them about their family. Do you have kids? How many kids do you have? You know, find the common ground. Oh, what do you do for, you know, to keep the lights on? What's your full-time job? Are you a stay-at-home mom? what do you like to do? I love to hike. I love to paddleboard. I love to snowboard. You know, so I find those things that I like to do, and I share it with them by, well, I ask them what they like to do, and then I find that common ground. Oh, I love to hike too. Oh, I love to work out. I love to do yoga. So you're just building the relationship, building the connection. And I do see that there's a couple chats, and I will get to them. I just can't see them when I'm sharing my screen. And then the final part of forum is the message. The message is simply, you know, let's just say as you're talking with somebody, they're talking about how they work, you know, and this actually happened to me on Saturday. A gal that I met, she works, and she was driving like an hour and 15 minutes to work, an hour and a half from work. So instead she started taking the bus to kind of leverage her time, but still her hours are so long because of her commute. And she would love to find another way of an income where she didn't have to commute. So that was my message to her, is there is another way you can do that in the pockets of your life until you at least replace your income. So I will stop my share now. Just check the chat. Oh yes, Sybil, great idea. Taking Bia around with you as well. That's a, yes, no-brainer. You know how many people are so excited about Bia? Obviously, Saturday was my first booth I've done since Bia came out. And there were so many people that just were really super interested in that product, either for themselves or for their, you know, 20-year-old son or their college student or their daughter. So many people were interested in that product. So that's definitely a good one to take around. Great idea. And, oh, that's everything. Sorry, Kenya, that you keep getting kicked out. I hope you stay on with us. Hopefully that was helpful, Anne-Marie. Just get out there, live your life, and meet people, build the relationships, ask them about them. Be interested, not interesting.
Excellent, Bethany. And thank you for sharing the screen. I absolutely love seeing all your different places that you suggested, because I've never heard of LitTip before. So I'm going to look into that. And then the forum. And then Heather did mention in the chat, so when I brought off Jeff Beebe in the 3/4, his goal was to have the 3/4 out of his shoe by 10 a.m. So if that's not a bit of urgency in the morning to get out and to get talking to people, I don't know what is. I absolutely love that. And Bethany, you did say something. You said that you were taking very fast notes because I talk fast. So I do. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands and I talk too fast. So I'm trying to slow down. Sorry if I'm rattling off too quickly, everybody. I need to slow down. I know that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of the tools that we have for resources, and then I'm going to call on another one of my teammates who posted something in our little private team thread that just made me go, ha! So I'm gonna have her jump on here in a minute to share just briefly what shifted. She said she had a moment of clarity, and she is now having all these new engaging conversations, some of them with people that she's talked to in the past, but something shifted inside of her. So I really want to hear what shifted. But so if you're not familiar, some of you are, some of you aren't, we do have tools that the company gives us. The company gives us everything to be successful. So the IsoLife app, if you use it, if you don't, I know some people do, some people don't. I use it. That's the only way that I enroll. And it's just getting better with them, I believe. So in the IsoLife app, you can build carts. You can send those to people. I have met people and they're like, what is it? And I already have them pre-built to what I suggest, but they can go in and edit it themselves. But it's right there. The company gives us these tools to share. And then another way that, another thing that I use, and I don't use it enough because nobody's perfect, is our ISA sales tools. I use our ISA sales tools. There's the PDFs, the videos, all of that. I use that a lot, but there's a way we can do 30-day coaching drips. I mean, that's an effective tool and I'm pretty consistent with it. But those people are getting emails from you, but they're not from you. They're already pre-made and they are set to a timer. You say when you want it to start, and they get their day one, their day two, their cleansing, everything. So they're being coached virtually for next to nothing. So if you guys need more information on that, I'm happy to share with you. But those two are time-freeing apps. So if you say you don't have enough time, you have to just tap into the resources that we already have. So the ISOLife app is a great tool. And then the ISA sales tools is another, it's getting better too. And we can record our own videos in that, because really people want to see you. So you can record your own, and then you can send those out as well. So where are we at on time? Oh, we're good. That's because I talk so fast. Okay, so Ren's been on my team for just over a year. She watched on Facebook. We had chatted here and there. She was with another network marketing company. So I got in my own head and was like, well, she won't be interested in mine because she's already with another company. Biggest mistake you guys can make is to prejudge anybody's financial situation, anybody's health, or if they're with another company. Not all companies are created equal, my friends, and we have the best compensation, the best products. So I don't know if it was, because we were going back and forth. And I don't remember if she was like, I need what you have, or vice versa, or you need to check this out. But it happened. And she is just a rock star on my team. Her health has changed in so many ways. I'm so happy for her. But she posted the other day, she posted in our team thread about having a moment of clarity. And she has this bulletin board with every person with a pin in it and their name and their phone number. And I was like, whoa, like what was this moment of clarity? So Ren, if you would unmute and just tell us, like, what was your aha, or, because I know you've had wall kicking moments, and we'll all have wall kicking moments in building this business, but what was your aha moment that made you like have this shift?
It was actually when I ended up having to do that, the vendor event last minute by myself.
Awesome.
So
out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, way out of my comfort zone. But then when I got there, as Bethany mentioned, get there first. I was at the primo table right on the corner. I was the top of the list when she wrote out the big board. People had to come directly to me. I got lots of people walking up to me, and I got listening to other people and how they were pitching just softly, and then being able to run with that and be able to talk to so many people that I would never have run into outside of my own little circle made me feel more confident. And with that, I started hauling butt. I started reaching out to people. I was getting better with messages. I'm getting back to Emily Vavra had recently mentioned something about, I mean, she always does, but mentioning something about being yourself. I really have. I've been yanking back on some of the posts that everybody else is posting and posting more me and how I'm using it and how I'm using the products and my life and what I'm up to and things that I'm thankful for. And people have been reaching out to me a lot. I've had 3 people just today reach out to me that have not spoken to me in a month or 2, and they're like, okay, well, I want the meeting. I've got 2 meetings set up tomorrow for people to sign up. And I was like, whoa, okay, hey. And it's super exciting. But that vendor event where I had to learn to walk really fast was the one that launched me up. And it was awesome. It was what I needed.
I love hearing that. I really do, because events can be nerve-wracking, especially when, I call you up and say, I double booked an event, I need your help. But here's the thing, sometimes you have to get so far out of your comfort zone, you guys. Getting uncomfortable is so important. Everybody's gonna fall down, but it's how you stand back up, and it's how you just say, F it, I'm gonna do this, because you know in your heart how much you love how you feel or how much you wanna share and impact others. And not everybody else understands that, but that's okay. So I love that event kind of lit the fire in your pants. So if there's one thing one thing I'm going to kind of just recap on, you guys, if you're doing the same thing and not getting the results that you want, well, maybe it's time to shake it up, no pun intended, and do something different. Go find some meetups. Join a knitting group, whatever. I mean, I've joined a variety of different groups, hiking and biking and that sort of thing. That's my jam. If I knew how to knit, I'd probably join a knitting group, because I actually am envious of people that know how to knit. But my whole point of all of that is find what you love to do because you're going to find like-minded people that are loving to do that too. And through that, you make a connection. And through that, you never know whose life you could change. So where are my notes? What am I going to talk about? I think that I've kind of, in just about 30 minutes, kind of shared
with. Bounce it over to Trisha, Anne-Marie. See if Trisha has anything to add.
All right, to Trisha we go. Well, I wasn't going to wrap it up because I am going to do a call to action. I don't want just this this call to be like, oh, okay. I'm going to throw a call to action out there and a little challenge. But Trisha.
Yeah. All I was thinking, as both you and Bethany and Ren were sharing, was just that sense of urgency. You know, like we need that sense of urgency. And if we don't, you know, I know there's a lot of people. I have a lot of people on my team that you can raise your hand if you've ever said this, or if you have teammates that have said this, you know, like I really want it. I just can't seem to find the like motivation to get it done, or I just keep letting days pass where I do nothing. You know, like I know we've all heard that, right? Either felt that or you've heard it, right? And so, you know, and I know I've talked to Kenny about this a lot, and Kenny's on the call, you know, action changes your attitude. Action changes your attitude 100%. You know, if I'm just doing the same thing every day, I'm going to have a hard time finding that desire or motivation to do something, you know. But if I take action, it really does change the page. From someone who has dealt with just a lower level of, you know, like postpartum or depression in my life, I know that taking steps changes my whole day. I could be sitting on the couch with zero motivation, zero energy, just feeling really down in the dumps. And the second I take steps, or I go outside, or I move in a different direction, everything shifts. Everything shifts. And so, you know, action is super important. My challenge for you guys would be to just take some steps, like force it. You've all heard the phrase, fake it till you make it, right? Force the steps and watch your attitude change. Force your steps and watch your paradigm completely shift, you know? And so what I would say about urgency is, you know, I love that, that Jeff said that. I love that he said by 10 a.m. We talked recently about just priorities, you know, like having your priorities. Well, what's our priority in an Isagenix business? Enrollments, right? Like enrollments is the lifeblood of our team, right? I wouldn't have a team unless I had enrolled somebody. So if enrollments is the most important thing we can be doing, and meeting people leads to enrollments, like I love the idea of that being our top priority, and that we make it an urgent priority, meaning like Jeff did. He had those 3 quarters in his shoe and he had to get rid of them by 10 o'clock. Like how cool is that? And because he did that, all the small things fit around those 3 big things, because those were the most important things he could have done that day, right? You meet 3 new people, 3 great new connections, you're going to go to bed happy, guys. You're going to go to bed happy because those 3 connections will lead tomorrow or in a week or 2 weeks or a year from now, they're going to lead to an enrollment, right? So anyway, that's all I'll say. I love the urgency, and I'm going to set a big goal for myself by in the morning, because if that's our top priority, then get it done first thing. I love that.
I love it too. Okay, so Bethany touched on it. Bethany said it. Be intentional. So I challenge all of you to be intentional through the rest of this year, right? Set a goal. If you guys want to raise your hand, because I am doing it, I've told myself I'm going to go executive again before NYKO. It is not an option. I've made 1 consultant. I'll have another one tomorrow. That's just what I have to do. If you guys want to run with me, post in the chat, send me a message like, hey, Anne-Marie, hold me accountable. Check in with me. I will. Period. End of story. But I think running into NYKO and getting as many people as we can get there is going to be huge. Congratulations, Trish. Good job. That's my goal by the end of this week. So, I would start your list and see how many people you're going to be bringing with you to NYKO, getting their butts in the chair. See how many people you can run and how to consultant by the end of this year. If your goal is to hit manager, if your goal is to hit director, lean on me, lean on your coach, lean on your spot. I mean, all of us are here to support and encourage one another. So I highly suggest that we set some big goals for us. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't, because we're on these calls, these business calls, to create action, to be intentional, to change our 2020. Like, I forget who it was. I think it was Heather. You'll probably remember, but like, who is your class of 2020? Like, those are the people that we're enrolling right now. Who do you want sitting at your board of directors in 2020? Like, who do you want your business teammates with? Because I'll tell you right now, building a great team is the most amazing thing, because these people are not just here for a day, they're here for life, right? And so, like, to surround yourself with those people that you want to run with business-wise. Enrollments are a bit different. Not everybody is going to be your business partner or your business running mate, because not everybody wants the business. But to really be intentional about who you are, what you're putting out into the universe, and who you're attracting, because your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So be intentional with how you're talking to yourself, who you want to bring in, and get to work. Don't just say it, do it. 3 people a day has to be 3 people a day. If you want to set a time limit on it, great, 10, 11, 12, whatever you're comfortable with, and however it fits into your day. Use the tools, the ISA Life app, the ISA sales tools. Post, watch what people are saying. Like, really watch. People leave more clues than you think, because you're too busy maybe comparing or trolling. Seriously, slow down. And then set your number. If it's going to be 3 connections a day, 3 follow-ups, 3 tools, or people added to the page, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 5. If you're in this full time, maybe it's 10. I mean, that's some gritty work right there. But if you want to change your life, it's up to you, right? And so you have to put your big girl or boy pants on and just do the do. Sit your butt in the chair. We all make our day, right? So it's easy to be, oh, I have to change the laundry. No, you don't. You don't have to change the laundry. Sit in your chair, 50 minutes, and then maybe take a break. Brendan Bouchard says 50 minutes and then do a little of his woo-woo breathing and then jump back in the chair, you know? But I think that this is all that I have really to cover. If any of you guys, I don't know, Sybil or Beth or anybody else, like questions, comments, or if not, I think that's our week 2.
I was just
I think that was a really great call to action, Anne Marie, and it's exciting just to see you so fired up. 6 years in, you guys, it's not a simple business. No, it's not an easy business. It's not an easy business, but it is simple, right? It's simple because it's the same things, doing them day in, day out. So, Anne Marie, I'm proud of you just for saying, hey, and calling it out right now. Yes, be intentional, Ren. I love that. I'm so proud of you just for calling it out that you're going executive again. Yeah, why not? Why not? Build your consultants, get your people paid. It's not just about enrollment, but then getting them paid.
One of my favorite people in the world, honestly, is Hillary Courtney. You know, she is, she's a leader that we could all admire because she has such a beautiful heart and soul. She is so authentic. She's so humble, and she's a workhorse. Like, she works. The woman knows how to work. And if I were to call Kathy Coover and say, you know, just give me one of your top women in this company, she would say Hillary Courtney, because she knows how hard she works, you know. And yet she still has a huge heart. So Bethany talks about building relationships. I mean, Hillary is one of those people that I was laying on my bed, you know, horribly pregnant, and that sounds bad, but she called me just to like lift my spirit. So Hillary is just an amazing woman. But I'll never forget, you know, her on stage talking a lot about what Bethany and Anne Marie were talking about with like how they're meeting people. But she is such a good example of really living in a remote place and yet making it happen. Like she has been celebrated in Isogenics with so many awards as a top income earner. I mean, she's done incredible things financially in this company, and yet she does live in a remote place. And yet she still gets it done. How? She drives hours to towns and does sip and sample. She goes to different gyms. She goes to different clubs. She goes to different groups, like Anne Marie was saying, or like Bethany was saying. Like, it's that simple. So yeah, Bethany, it really is simple. It is. It takes action. It takes passion. It takes focus and grit. But it really is simple. It's just a matter of, like Jeff said, am I going to get those 3 names every day? Am I going to go out of my way to talk to the person at the grocery store? Am I going to go out of the way, you know, in just simple ways? My kids are in sports groups, and, you know, one of the things that I do is the second my kids joins a new team, I go around and I get all the moms' information at first practice, and I put us all in a Facebook group so we can share pictures. I'm not stupid. I'm doing it for a reason. I want to enroll all of them, you know?
That's so smart.
Sharing pictures. But I just got 30 names on Facebook that are strangers. Now I have access to their connections too. So, I mean, just be super, super intentional to where at the end of the year, you can literally wear a cape and it's like Miss or Mr. Intentional. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I'm excited. Anne-Marie, you got me all like, I got to go to work, guys. So can we?
I love it.
It's time to get to work, everybody.
Flamethrower.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think if that's it, I'm going to wrap up this call. I'm going to thank all of you guys for taking the time out of Monday night to be on this. Be sure to invite your teammates and everybody else or anybody else that would find value in this. Our One Big Team is open to everybody. It does not matter if we're financially connected or not. In fact, like, I'm not connected financially to a lot of people who I have linked arm with that coach me. You know, I mean, I'm constantly learning. So anyhow, I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And next week when we log on, maybe have your number and write it down. We can all hold it up. Maybe let it be maybe a total of people that you've added to the team page and that you've sent a tool to, because not everybody is on Facebook, and I respect that. So maybe it's gonna, you know, if your goal is 3, let's get those numbers up. But everybody can hold up their paper to people that they've shared Isogenics with, that they've enrolled. We'll just do a one big number. Enrolled, shared, added to a team page. Cool?
Love it.
Love it.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
You're welcome.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
Oh, wait, let's do a picture.
Okay.
Because you know
Bethany,
me.
how do you do a screenshot?
Just one person sharing a Dropbox thing or something.
No, you got to teach me,
Oh, no,
Bethany,
you know
how to
what,
do a
Trisha?
screenshot on your computer.
Oh, you for real are asking?
Yeah.
You can hit print screen on your computer, you guys, and then when you open up Paint, that picture will be there.
Oh.
I'm sorry, you have to click paste, and that picture will be there. But wait, I want to do what Trisha did last week, because I thought that was
All right, selfie time.
It's hard to see you guys.
I love it.
Oh my goodness, I can't even see you.
Robert always looks so put together, so just classy.
Robert looks dapper.
You'll see all my notes on my
In his
desk.
warm North Face.
There we go. There's a cute couple. All right.
You guys are adorable.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
everybody.